Rowdy, I don't know if you've heard the news, but there's the talk, or it's been confirmed that 12 clubs in New South Wales are heading to Queensland. Details are a bit sketchy, but your reaction to it?
Well, I think you pretty much expected. I don't think anyone sort of did not expect it. Yeah, so just part of the raid and part of the trip.
Is that the feeling? I mean, you guys have been doing this for so long now. It's just another.
Yeah, well, you got to keep the comp going, don't you? So that's the best way to do it. I think just all got to support it and get involved and get up to Queensland.
Bernie, how disappointed are you in some of the clubs and other players who got up to a bit in trouble last week, given what the Warriors have done to keep this comp going?
Oh, look, look, what other players do at other clubs, honestly, is not my concern. My biggest issue is how they decide how long blokes get stood down for. Like we got two blokes who are in our starting side who haven't played for 2 weeks because they caught an aeroplane that a hostess was crook on, you, and then all the blokes were saying, they get 1 week. So you do the wrong thing, you get a week. You do what Will Chambers done, you do the right thing, you get 2 weeks. You tell me how that one's fair. I know rugby league's not a fair game at times, but what other players do is none of my business. I just don't get how you do the right thing and you get 2 weeks, and you do the wrong thing and you get 1 game. That don't add up to me.
What do you think about the game this afternoon, Brownie?
Look, we had a little period like we have had most games this year where we have a little window where things get out of hand on us, where the opposition control the game well. Sean Johnson getting a lot of repeat sets. We come up with a couple of errors and tackle 4 or 5 penalties on the back of it and have a huge period of time where we don't have possession, and in that period of time we defend really, really well for 4 or 5 sets, and then we have a couple of periods where we have players that probably just don't quite sustain the level of standard that you need to for to be a good NRL team. And rather than leak 3 tries, the really good sides leak 1.5 tries, and we leak 3, and then we find ourselves chasing our tail. And then I thought our effort in the second half, again to defend, Sean Johnson obviously controlled the game very well, a lot of repeat sets, and to be able to put ourselves in the contest and stain it on the back of there's a lot of yardage penalties against us every time we'd work really hard to stay in the game and kick it down, then we get penalised on tackle 4 or 5 or 3. There was a big sequence of those today, which I thought the refereeing, I haven't complained all year, we've lost lots of close games, but the refereeing was really poor today. And I feel sorry for him because I'm not sure, I'm at a loss to what the rules are now after the way last week's was ref to this week's was ref, so I thought the way the game was ref didn't help us build any pressure as well. I'm not saying we didn't do things wrong, but I just I don't understand what the rules are anymore. I'm lost, and the momentum swings off the back of that are huge. Yeah, the swing of the momentum of the game's big, but we still lost the game ourselves in that little period where Cronulla managed it very well, and we didn't defend well enough in that little period, so that was our fault, not anyone else's fault.
You talk about the high shot, I think, by Sione Katoa on Bailey Sirena?
I can give you 1,000 examples of games that we've lost by a point or 2 points where we've had blokes in the bin, and Bailey Sirena got a break a nose today. No one goes to the bin. I could show you last week the biggest play of the game when on 40 seconds out we get put in our wing goal and St George are 2 metres in front of the referee, and we got Adam Fanua-Blake hit in the head in the crusher tackle, which I didn't complain about it because they were minor incidences and they didn't deserve a penalty. But today, everything was a penalty, and I just don't understand how it's working myself. I was watching it and I thought it's out of control for me, from myself personally. Other people might disagree with me, but it's just and it just has too big an impact on the game. If you're gonna do it all the time. Do it to both teams. Do it every week, or just go a bit easier on it. Yeah.
Do you see clarity on any of that? Or
No, I'm not going to worry about it at all.
Yeah.
I haven't complained all year, but I just wanted to make a point tonight because we haven't complained, and today we got the wrong end of the stick on a few occasions, and as I said, that's not why we lost the game. We lost the game in that first period when we didn't regain momentum by defending well enough for long enough, but it stopped us from building any momentum in the second half, and I'm not saying they didn't deserve in some way some of them to be penalties, but I don't understand where the game's at the moment, I've got to be honest. And I've been a big supporter of the rule changes, but I'm at a loss after today.
Brendan, can you just clarify what happened before the game? The reports you guys had to stay on the bus. It's a bit of a scare.
I believe someone who set up the catering for us here come in close contact with someone with COVID. So all the food got tossed out and the room had to get cleaned. So that was pretty much the long and the short of it, yeah.
Matt Lodge obviously came on board. What did you make of him?
He was very good, yeah. I thought, like, we got actually, look, when, I know, I've said this, we're not a long way from being a decent footy team, you know, we're a little bit short at times with our consistency, the way we do things, which is quite obviously why we lose a number of close games. But I don't think there's not too many times people would challenge our commitment and effort. And you know, we saw in the second half how hard we competed, and I think our middles, you know, Lodgy coming on board, I think Lodgy was certainly one of the better players in the middle of the field today, you know, so him and Aiden give us two very high-level players who can play big minutes and compete well, you know, so I thought Lodgy was good in that area, and I thought, you know, they give us some really good momentum in the second part of the game.
But in terms of what happened before the game, was there a distraction at all?
Oh, look, I just think it's the way the game is today, really. It's certainly, you know, we started the game well enough. You know, it's certainly no reason for us not to start. I think, you know, with what sort of happened last year to the sides having to travel on game day, and today it was you know, it's not something you want to happen, but I don't think it was, you know, you'd rather it not happen, but it happened, but it was only a minor thing. It certainly didn't impact, you know, us on the way we started the game, and the guys are really good like that. They've, as everyone knows, you know, they've moved from another country last year and done it again, moved all over the shop this year a few times already, so we can, you know, be in a position to train together and be together, and certainly the players don't look for any excuses there, which is really good. They don't have to worry about that sort of stuff, which is great.
Jake mentioned earlier that you moved around a lot already, the Warriors, and the fact that you're now going to have to move to Brisbane or to Queensland, given you've been on the move so much, does it make it any easier? Does it, you think?
Oh, look, you know, I sort of wasn't a part of it last year already, so I'm probably the wrong person to ask. And the other thing is we're sort of in the country, I suppose, where I've been for the last fair few years, you know, so it's probably more, you know, for the Kiwi boys that have been away from their families and that type of stuff, where it's probably a little bit more difficult, you know, and it's obviously got some new players that have come to the club this year that it's probably a little bit different for them, I suppose, that were playing with other clubs that were, I suppose, were living in their own house with their families last year, so it's a bit different for them, but it's not ideal, I suppose, for anyone, but to keep the competition going, and I think that's what we all want to see happen. So I think it's just a part of everyone's journey, and I'm sure everyone would be pretty understandable, I would have thought, from most clubs, I would have thought.
Do you see it taking a toll, Brownie, at all with some of the players and how long they've been doing this and how much they've been moving around?
Look, they've been really good. The guys, they don't complain. All the boys from New Zealand, honestly, if they complain, I haven't heard about it in my time. Yeah, they've been terrific, you know, so, which has been great. Obviously, having their families here this year obviously has made the circumstances a little better, and the people at the Star of the Sea are great. And so it's certainly you don't hear them complain. I wouldn't like to think it would. You wouldn't want it to keep going on forever and a day, I would have thought, but yeah, you don't ever hear them complain. Everyone, they're really good like that, honestly. Yeah. So as I said, if they are, I'm not hearing it.
Thanks, Brendan.
You're pretty hungry, Brandon. Give me food.
Have a little bit of time.